Welcome back to the channel. So, what is the game plan for this weekend? I see a lot of fan base offensive coordinators. I see a lot of fan base defensive coordinators, talking about what should be the approach for us this upcoming Saturday. Now, allow for me to start. I don't care if TVD is medically cleared, don't put him out there, please. I do not want to have a flashback of what transpired in 2015, where on a three-man rush, Clemson was able to get penetration, and not just get penetration, but concuss Brad Kaya. So, please, I don't care if he's medically cleared or not, don't let Tyler Van Dyke go out there. Please don't. Please. He wasn't even dressed out for the game yesterday, so I don't want to hear any reports this week about he's progressing well in practice. No, I don't want to see any of that. Let's go all in on Jacurri, right? So, as far as what do I expect for the game plan to be this week, I expect it to be the same. I've seen some of the fan base offensive coordinators say, hey, we shouldn't let him run it so much. We should scale back, what it is that we do. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, how much more scaling back can we do? But I will say this. For as much as I've said that the offenses at Oregon as well as Michigan were not the type of offenses that were going to just knock you out of your seats, I will say this, because I saw some people say it earlier in the year, but I think they were saying it more so from a I'm sick of Jake and I'm sick of Tyler viewpoint, when they said that the offense probably could flow better with Jacurri. Now, after thinking back on last year for Oregon and Michigan, both teams did have quarterbacks that were a lot more mobile than what we have. Now, obviously, Jacurri is a lot more mobile than the quarterbacks that Michigan had. And I think, obviously, of course, he's more mobile than Anthony Brown, which Anthony Brown probably was a little bit less mobile due to, him wearing a knee brace. So, when you put all that together, I think you do have a fairly decent offense. I don't know. Now, is it fairly decent enough to put a scare in the Clemson Tigers? I'm not going to say that. But I will say that we have nothing to lose. We need to go out all guns blazing. And if it calls for Jacurri to run the ball 15 to 20 times, some called for and some just improvising, hey, do what you got to do. I'm usually not the person that goes into the old school Miami bag when, they say anybody, anywhere, anytime. But I would not allow for y'all to infect my mind by sitting up here saying that we just need to get through this game. No. Clemson has embarrassed us on multiple occasions since they went on their run of generational talents at quarterback. And even when they didn't have the generational talent with Kelly Bryant, I think he started the game, 15 for 15 against a much better defense. Listen, let's go and let's do what we got to do. If that entails running Jacurri 15 to 20 times. Now, I will say this. I saw a lot of people say that, Clemson is probably going to stack the box and force us to beat them passing the ball. Now, me being me, when people say that a person struggles throwing the ball, he's not as talented throwing the football, I just look back and I think about a lot of the quarterbacks who weren't as talented. And let me preface this by saying, I'm not saying that Jacurri is any of these quarterbacks at this particular stage in his career. I'm not saying it. But there are guys who have not been able to throw the ball for 3 or 4 years, and they've been able to hit the broadside of a barn. I think he can do that, right? So, One thing about sending heat is you better make sure when you send that heat, that heat is a heat-seeking missile. Don't just send heat and the guy can't finish the play. Because we've seen multiple times this year and here recently where DCs have dialed it up, blitzed, and the guy that they send on the blitz, he misses the tackle, and the entire integrity of the defense is compromised. So, I don't know how much pressure Clemson is going to load up and try to send this Saturday. I don't know. But I do think that Jacurri, with his size and his escapability, he's going to wiggle himself out of a couple of pressures. I think he's going to go down a few times, but I think he's going to wiggle his way out of a couple of pressures. And, I mean, I don't know. Clemson, statistically, has a good run defense, but I don't know. I don't know. But I do think that the game plan should remain what the game plan is. And regardless of if Tyler Van Dyke is cleared or not, I mean, we have to go with Jacurri. I know there have been some people rumbling saying that inside the building they're trying to do everything in their power to try to keep Tyler, on the roster. Because think about this. I mean, we could go from having what preseason was a strength in our quarterback room to something that is a weakness by having a quarterback who, by the end of the season, if we're bowl eligible, Jacurri would have started Georgia Tech, Clemson, Pittsburgh in the bowl game. So we're going into next season with a quarterback that has started 4 games. Emory Williams, if he sticks, and potentially a portal quarterback. And that is not how you want to go into next year. So, I don't know. But as I've said before, if I'm Tyler, I don't know if I want to entrust my career at this particular point in my career. I don't know if I want to trust it here at the University of Miami. And that's not to me, that's not a knock on Coach Cristobal or anybody else that's on the staff. It's just that at this particular point, it's time for the rubber to meet the road. It's time for you to make a decision. And seeing how that Jacurri could be in a situation where his mobility could be the biggest asset, because I'm not looking for a drastic change in the offensive line, even if we do get a couple of recruits and even if we do get some people in the portal, because injuries happen. So one thing that we know helps a battered offensive line is a quarterback that can run, because those defensive linemen have to think twice about how hard they want to rush, because if you run past a mobile quarterback, he's going to make you pay, and the first thing that you're going to hear when you get to the sideline is stop rushing up the field so doggone quick. Right? Stop rushing up the field so doggone quick. But with that being said, like I said, I think same game plan that we rolled out here with this week, or last week since it's Sunday now, the same one we should roll out next week, with the only caveat being Josh Gaddis or Frank Ponce or whoever's in charge of relaying the calls onto the field. If we spread out, put someone in motion, give them some eye candy to look at, because we can fake it and pull up and throw like a screen or whatever the situation is, throw it to Brashard or send Rooster in motion and throw it to them, or flat out run a freaking old school option play where you pitch it out to the running back or whatever the situation is. But we cannot see a situation where we spread the field out and everyone in the stadium knows, oh, this is QB power. So add that little wrinkle to your to your list of plays, right? But anyway, like, subscribe, share, and as always, it's all about the you holding the phone with the other hand. So always about the you.